Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm actually showing you guys a live trade. So this trade has actually nearly hit TP, but I figured I'll just show you guys exactly what's going on, and after we do hit TP, then I'll show you guys exactly what happened before the trade setup came to play. Just a few more pips away and we'll hit TP. So once that is done, yeah, that'll be it. So that'll be it for today. Right now it's actually morning, so I woke up early for the London session. So I'm going to trade London session. I'm probably going to trade New York session as well if there is a setup. There is also news at 1:30. So if that doesn't mess up the market, then hopefully we'll be able to find a setup. If we don't find a setup, then at least I know I've made something during London session. Okay, so before this trade came to play, this was exactly what I was looking at. So I wake up at 8:30 precisely and I was looking for what is going to happen on the market. So I saw that this high was broken. So this became an easy setup that was formed, assuming the market is going to come back to it. So now, let me just clear all of this. So I'll literally do it in real time for you guys so you can see exactly what's going on. So initially all of this wasn't there. This was what I was looking at. So this high was broken. So I just drew a line here. So I'll take note of that. And now we can see a demand that was formed. So right here was another setup that was formed. So if we look closely, you guys can see that clearly it did tap in, and I'm not showing this trade. Now this is because I didn't enter this trade. The reason why I didn't enter this trade is based on my experience so far trading. When it just taps in just a tiny bit like this, I'm not really comfortable. It makes me feel a bit weird. That's number one. Number two, there was still a bit of gap here that I was hoping that this would come back to. So I was hoping it's going to come and hit this one, this zone right here. Then that was when I was happy to take the trade, but I wasn't happy with this one. And in fact, it went in, it went up and came back in once again, and it still went back up. So obviously maybe I would have won money in this, but you can see how long it took for that to even happen. And my thoughts were actually right, because I wouldn't have actually won this trade. So if I entered here, so I would have waited for some sort of break of candle. I'm usually looking for 10 pips, so usually I'll be risking 10 pips to try to make 10 pips. So now that would mean that my stop loss is give or take here approximately, and I'm looking for this trade to get here before I get out. And clearly it didn't get there. It didn't get there at all. In fact, after so many minutes, it still didn't hit that point. And I wouldn't be waiting in this trade for this long. So clearly I was sort of right, because I had a feeling it's going to come back here. Bear in mind, obviously we can see that we were very, very bullish as well. So I was only looking for buys at this time. Today's Monday. In fact, the charts looks very, very clean today. So I was just looking for buys, nothing else. So there's no price action really at the top as well. So that's not risky, but anything can happen basically. So I just wasn't confident, so I left this trade and I did not enter this trade. So I've simply waited for the next thing to happen. So we saw another break of structure here. So once it broke structure here, I was looking for it, and we can see a rejection at this point. This point of rejection makes this trade a bit tricky again, because if it rejected here, I needed to find out why. So there are a few reasons to why I didn't like the setup in the first place. So checking the 15-minute, we can see that there is a supply at this point. So this trade was very, very iffy for me. A 15-minute supply is not a good sign, and not just a 15-minute supply. If you go to the 1 hour, we can also see that this is also 1 hour supply. So I was looking at this trade thinking, cool, there is a high probability that this could just go down, right? It could just, it could dip. This supply is pretty strong. So I was very, very, very iffy about this trade. I wasn't really comfortable, just because of, it's not really in line with the 15-minute and the 1 hour. And if you check the EMA as well, it's just, it just wasn't really it. But I'm mainly a scalper. Just because of the supply does not mean that you can't really take, this setup. It could still go the exact way, I want it to. So for me, the worst case scenario, right, on this trade was that because I'm looking for 10 pips. This is where 10 pips is. I'm not going to wait for this trade to get here before I leave. Of course not. There's no point. I'm leaving it just after it entered. So it means that I'm not risking 10 pips. I'm only risking approximately, 3.8 pips. So that's about 4 pips on this trade. So worst case scenario, I'm only risking 4 pips on this trade. So that means I would only lose. So I'll lose less than $25 per trade basically. And I'm looking to get around 50, give or take. And I was looking for this trade to get to this 10. So I was looking for my 10 pips and I'm out. So it means it has to break this rejection here for me to hit that point. But I was liking this bullish candle that actually came in. So this is looking pretty clean. So if we look at the next thing, so afterwards it rejected again. Now that's where things were a bit iffy, because this could have hit me out, but I was still confident, because worst case scenario, I was only going to lose a max of $50 no matter what on this trade. But if this goes my way, then I would make $100. So I was just hoping, if it does, fair, fair enough. It's not the worst case scenario. But after this rejection here, then it went back up again. So things were looking good and it went up again. So we're close to hitting TP at this point. Things were going smoothly as it should do. And now we saw this rejection right here. So actually on the trade itself, so on the actual trade, we didn't hit TP right here. That's cap. So my TP was approximately here because I believe due to spreads, it entered me around here. So it meant that my TP was right here. So this rejection was annoying because right now we saw this rejection and I thought, cool, maybe this is when it's going to go back down and, take out this liquidity that's down here and just fill out all of these gaps that might still be yet to be filled. So that was my fear. So at this point, right, I was just hoping, cool, are we going to hit TP or not? So it was sort of playing around. It kept moving up and down. So I figured if I left here, I would have made $50 instead of the 100 I wanted to make. But so this is where psychology comes in. Now, I left it there and I was not trying to get our break even. That's just because I've been getting our break even for the past week and I wasn't really liking that. And I'll show you guys, my history over the past week. I've actually done pretty well in the past week. I don't think I've lost a trade in the past week and a bit. I've either been getting a break even or I'm making money. That's been it. Literally, I've not lost a single trade in literally 6 days, not a single one. So I wasn't looking to lose again today. But, eventually the next candle we hit TP, things were sweet, things were all good to go. And that was it. Very, very simple. Just simple supply and demand. The usual stuff that I've been learning for, the past few months. But now I think things are all gara. And that was basically me done for the day. Unless there's another setup in the afternoon, then I will take it. But if not, then I'm pretty much done. I've made 2% today. Now, although I didn't like this trade, obviously the things that I did like was the fact that there was break of structure. So that's very, very good. All my trades always need to have a break of structure. Once I backtested this enough times and I figured it out, that was a game changer. As long as the break of structure, I'm very confident in the trade. Of course, the EMA is literally below as well. So things are looking good for this trade. So everything's following the trend. Everything is all good to go. And before it actually hit TP, there was a gap to be filled. So it filled that gap and then it started going back up again. So I like this trade for that reason. Obviously, it's mainly just what the higher time zones are doing. But I rarely ever check the higher time zone. I don't really care much about what's going on. On the higher, most of the time, my 5 minutes is all I need. And usually if it just follows, as it should. If it doesn't, then worst case scenario, I'll lose less and just make more on the other trade to make up for it. So that's been me for today. There are actually other live trades that I've recorded. I just haven't, posted them. I thought there's no need. If you guys would actually like to see more live trades, then be sure to just let me know down in the comments. This is the first one that I've posted. So hopefully you guys do like it and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.